Hello, folks. I am Alan for today's news. I will be reading and speaking about world news, interesting news, news to keep you entertained, and news to keep you informed. What I got for you today here is from U.S. Today. As you probably heard, there's been a lot of train derailment lately. This one says trains keep derailing all over the country, including Thursday in Alabama. What's going on? This is out of Denver. Since the Fury, Ohio derailment on February 3rd, trains have derailed in Florida, West Virginia, Michigan, Oklahoma, and Nebraska. On Thursday, a Norfolk Southern train derailment in Alabama, and another one hit a dump truck on Tuesday in Cleveland, killing a contractor. Every day, the nation's railroads move millions of tons of raw materials and finished goods around the country on about 140,000 miles of rails. But their safety record is getting new attention amid the ongoing scrutiny of the East Palestine derailment disaster. Federal data from 2021 and 2022 says an average of about 3 train derailment in the U.S. a day. While not all derailments are equally or dramatic or dangerous, railroads are required to report any derailment that caused more than $10,700 in damage. Although the number isn't as bad as it used to be, there's now a growing push for tougher safety regulation, including a new bipartisan proposal in Congress amid its improving rail safety. Rail workers say large freight railroads have been skimping on maintenance, repair, staffing, and other to squeeze out higher profits. All companies like that, I don't care who they are, they're always trying to save a buck here and there. Every company that's in business has been doing that. No American family should be forced to face the horror of fleeing their homes because hazardous materials have spilled or caught fire in their community, says bill sponsor, Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown, a Democrat, and J.D. Vance, a Republican. Americans are now rightly concerned about the safety of railroads carrying hazardous materials as trains travel through their communities. How often do trains derail in the U.S.? Well, let's see. It says here, according to the federal records, trains derailed 1,164 times last year and 1,095 times in 2021. That's a significant improvement from past decades. In 1979, for instance, railroads reported 7,482 derailments and reported 6,442 in 1980. So they've been going on. They're just now getting the news about it because getting worse with the hazard material on them. And it says a lot of them called by drivers too, crossing the tracks and not paying no attention. And you can read the rest of this in my description box. Oh, wait a minute. Here's one here. What about passenger trains? It said passenger trains such as Amtrak also experienced derailments in June 2022. An Amtrak train crashed in central Missouri, killing 4 people and colliding with a dump truck. And in September 2021, Amtrak's Empire Builder derailed in northern Montana, killing 3 people. The causes of both crashes remain it's still under investigations. So it's been going on. It's just now getting into the news. And here's one from Fox 2 News. China holds military advantage over U.S. as Washington prepares for conflict over Taiwan. This is from a retired general saying that. Concerns over a Chinese invasion of Taiwan continue to mount, with Beijing now suspected of environment and damaging of some of the island's nation's undersea internet cables this week. And another show a deliberate harassment. The distribution to Taiwan's internet, the disruption to Taiwan's internet was not only a nuisance for the island's inhabitants and visitors, it also revealed significant implications for Taiwan's national security. So China is just trying to be a bully, before the war starts. Said there is no definite evidence that China purposely cut the internet lines, but the incident brought renewed attention to what an attack on Taiwan might look like, and whether the U.S. will be able to have literally stopped it. Well, they can also use satellites, for telecommunications if they have to during the war. And you can read the rest of this in my description box. Here's one from the New York Times. Australia to buy U.S. nuclear power submarines to deal with counter China. This is out of Sydney. Australia will buy up to 5 Virginia-class nuclear power submarines from the United States to be delivered in the 2030s, according to the people brief on the deal, which accelerates and deepens an ambitious defense agreement amid reinforcing American-led military dominance in the Asian Pacific region to counter China's military growth. Australia will buy a new class of submarine with British designs and American technology in another stage of the deal. The arrangement, which would also include routing American attack submarine through Perth in Western Australia by 2027, adds new details and complexities to a 2021 security pact between Australia, Britain, and the United States known as AUKUS, AUKUS, AU for Australia, UK for UK, and US for the US. Nuclear submarines can stay underwater longer and travel further than conventional submarines without surfacing. They are the headline items of the deal, which also includes long-term plans to cooperate on artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and cyber warfare and missiles. And you can read the rest of this in my description box. This is from USA Today. Mexican cartel apologizes for kidnapping, killing Americans, turns over 5 it says responsible. American drug cartel claiming its members are behind the brazen kidnapping of 4 Americans last week, handed over 5 of the members, and left a note of apology. American media outlets and the Associated Press reported Thursday. Photos circulating on social media show 5 men on the pavement with their hands tied, 4 of them shirtless, in front of a pickup truck, which has a handwritten letter of apology on the windshield. The AP reported obtaining a copy of the letter from a law enforcement source in Tamaulipas, how to say that, the Mexican state where the American travelers were attacked. 2 of them were killed and another one wounded in a shooting Friday, shortly after arriving in the border city of Matamoros for cosmetic surgery. Authorities have said cartel members probably mistook them for drug smugglers and abandoned them after shooting the van. In the letter, the Scorpions fraction of the Gulf cartel apologized to the residents of Matamoros, a Mexican woman who was killed by a stray bullet, and the 4 Americans and their family. We have decided to turn over those who were directly involved and responsible for the events, who at all times acted under their own decision-making and lack of discipline, the letter reads, adding that those people have gone against the cartel's rules. Now, what I heard earlier on the news that they probably gave up their lowest gang members of the cartels, the one that don't really matter much, the newbies. And you're gonna read the rest of this in my description box if you like. There's one here. Sexual assault reports increase at U.S. military academies. This is out of Washington from the Associated Press. Reported sexual assaults at U.S. military academies shot up during the 2021-22 school year, and one of the 5 female students told an anonymous survey that they had experienced unwanted sexual contact, the Associated Press has learned. U.S. officials said student reported assaults at the Army, Navy, and Air Force academies jumped 18% overall compared with the previous year. The increase was driven largely by the Navy, which had nearly doubled the number of reported assaults in 2022 compared with 2021. It's unclear whether the phasing out of COVID-19 related restriction contributed to the increase, including the U.S. Naval Academy, which is directly adjacent to bars in downtown Annapolis, Maryland. So you're going to read the rest of this in my description box. And sexual assault in the military always went on. And see, here's one from the LA Times. The coronavirus has infected New York City's rats. Why that's bad news for people. Rats whose population in cities exploded during the pandemic have now joined the list of wildlife believed to be capable of catching and transmitting the virus that causes COVID-19, new research finds. In a study published Thursday in the journal Bio, researchers showed that rats, like dogs, cats, hamsters, ferrets, and humans, other close cohabitants, can pick up the pandemic virus from their environment. They don't appear to be very sick. None of the wild rats deliberately infected in a lab lost weight or died in a result. But when the rats were exposed to the Alpha, Delta, and Omicron variants of the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus, researchers found evidence of robust viral replication in the animal's nose, mouth, throats, and lungs. So, if you catch, in other words, if you catch it, your animals can be a carrier of it too. You can read the rest of that in my description box. And here, this can be my last one here. This is from the New York Times. You probably heard about this. If not, you hear about it now. Robert Blake, that played a Baretta star, that was acquitted and his wife murdered, dies at 89. Robert Blake, an actor whose career portraying gritty characters like the television detective Tony Baretta, was, by his trial, acquitted in the murder of his wife in 2021. He died Thursday in his home in Los Angeles. He was 89. I think they said it was a heart failure or something like that. And you can read the rest of this in my description box. Everything will be down below. If you want to hear more stuff about around your cities or country, I don't know who all listen to this newscast. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll get more stuff on where you live. Anyway, that's all I got for you now. Like, subscribe, come back once in a while at least, and I'll try to have some more world news, interesting news to keep you entertained, and news to keep you informed. Thanks for watching. Later.